I am Lori Cooch, and today we're working on Christmas still because it's October, so it makes sense to do Christmas, right? Try to get a jump and get ahead on things. So today we're working with the Home for Christmas Scrapbook Workshop. Last week we did the Home for Christmas card making workshop. So hopefully you've checked that out and got those because those are fun. And I do believe that these will sell out the closer we get to Christmas. So don't wait. If you want these, I highly suggest getting them as soon as possible. But let's get started. It says we need the Home for Christmas Scrapbooking Workshop. Got it. So we need some white gloss spray, which is optional, but I pulled mine out. And then some white gel pens, again optional, but I pulled mine out. A black lip pen. I don't have one. I have black pens, so if I find I need the black pen, I'll pull that out. Some foam tape. I have paper trimmer, scissors, adhesive, and a ruler. So I think we're good to go. Let's pull this out and see what's in the kit. You have everything you need to make these projects. These will be completed layouts. And we have placeholders for our photos because it's not Christmas yet, unless you're doing last year or the year before. I haven't done mine yet, so no shame in that game. Okay, so we have some embellishments, and then we have a sticker sheet. Let me get some finger stuff. My fingers are really dry. So we have a sticker sheet with these fun, I love this tree, the little gingham. I love gingham. Then we have a poinsettia page, and on the back is a mailbox, some trees, candy cane, and whatever. You know our papers are double-sided. Then we have a wood grain, 2 of those, and Christmas plaid. Where it says the first Noel, baby in a manger, holiday spirit, just different Christmas sayings on this one. The back side is kind of a Christmassy floral. Then of course we have our punch out die cut images. And what's fun about these, I'll show you on this one, on the back, well, not on that one, on the back of this one, it shows you which project they're for. So project 1, project 3, so you can keep them all close together. Then we have 2 pieces of, this is specialty paper. You won't be able to get this outside of this kit. They are one-sided. Same with this is a gray. Then we have some cardstock that we will be using as well. So I'm going to set the sticker sheet to the side because we're not going to need that until we start assembly. And same with these die cut shapes. We won't need those until we start with assembling. So I'm going to move those out of the way without breaking them apart, and our embellishments we won't need right away either. So let's get started. The first page, it tells us to cut our zip strips, and we're going to need the black gingham ones. So I'm going to cut all the zip strips off at one time because we will be using the papers on the other. So even though we won't be using those zip strips on these projects, we will be using the paper. So I'm just going to cut them off all at the same time. Oh, I'm making a mess. One of these days I will clean my desk. My husband's actually away for a day or 2, and I'm like, oh, I'll clean my craft room. And he started laughing because he knows it's just not going to happen. Not from lack of trying, just because I get in here and I start making stuff instead of cleaning, and I need to clean. So we're not using these ones, so I will be putting those back in the bag. I'm excited for these Christmas things. I always am behind, and so now maybe I will get caught up by having pages already done. Okay, these are the last 2. We will be using these gingham zip strips. If you don't know, they're 1/4 of an inch wide, and they're just added to the top of all of our pattern paper. So I'm going to just put these back in the bag because we will have scraps left over, and then I can use them for another project later. Okay. So our zip strips, it doesn't appear we're going to cut them. It just says we need them. So they're going to be used for 1B and 1E. So those are going to be used on project number 1. So pencil. So I'm going to put 1B and 1E. When I can, like on the back of this, I can clearly write. If it's some of the darker printed, I can't always write, so I'm not able to, but I'm going to separate these by project. So that when I go to make project number 1, everything I need is right there. So looking at this, it's going to show you that we have a front piece of our paper and a back piece of our paper. We always cut with the front up. And you'll see that it has this going with the wreath sideways. So the bow's on the side. So I'm going to make sure I turn my paper that way. Is it going to matter? I don't know, but it might, because this is a directional piece of paper and I don't want to cut something that I'm going to put on my page this way and have it be sideways. So I always match exactly how I'm cutting. So for this first piece, we're cutting 2 of them at 6 by 10.5. So I'm going to reopen this. I'm going to slide this a little bit. Sorry, but it's hitting my camera mount. So first thing I'm going to do, well, no, I'll just go 6 and 6 and then cut them at 10.5. I could just cut the bottom at 10.5 and twist it, but I want to keep the orientation so you can see it. So we know it's cut in half and then 10.5. And these are 1A and 1D. So somewhere really light on here, I'm going to put 1A and 1D. And I'm putting that in my 1 pile. These are scraps. They will go in my bag. Now the next one, the second sheet, it's telling us to cut it the other way. So we're going to be cutting with the poinsettias on the front, but now pay attention how you put this in your cutter, because now this is up and down. Instead of being turned to the side, it's up and down. So you want to make sure you're cutting it that correct way. And this we're going to cut at 5.5 by 11, 2 of them. And then 11, so we're going to cut 1 inch off of both of these. And again, the poinsettia paper does not matter directionally what way you cut, but the back of it, it really does. Okay, so these are 3A and 3E. So I'm going to put a 3A and a 3E. And I'm writing these really lightly. So if I end up writing on the wrong side, which I do, I can erase it easily. So I'm going to just slide that in for number 3. And the next thing on our cutting pattern is our wood grain. And the back is the plaid. Again, it's got the wood going side to side, so make sure you have your wood going side to side. The plaid is not going to matter. And we're cutting to 5.5 by 9, so it'd be 5.5 and 5.5. But I know that this is 3 inches at the bottom, So I'm just going to turn it and cut that 3 inches off, so then I'll have a solid 3-inch piece if I need it for something else. Ooh. And then now I can cut my 5.5 by 5.5. Oh, not by 5.5. My 5.5 and my 5 and my 5.5, because these are both going to be 5.5 by 9. And these are 3C and 3G. 3C, 3G. Putting them with my number 3s. Next we go to our dark green cardstock, well, our green cardstock that they provided to us. Notice it says there's a dark and a light. Our cardstocks do have a dark and a light side, and they are cutting on the dark side. So the first piece they're cutting is going to be 4.5 by 10 3/4. So I'm going to just go 4.5. And 10 3/4. And then 2 of them I'm going to cut 3.5 by 8.5. So 3.5. And 3.5. I just noticed I have little cuts on my arm. I don't know if you can see those. We are puppy sitting for my daughter. They have a puppy and they had somewhere to go today, and so we have him, and we were playing and it looks like he got me. 8.5. Okay. So the big one is 2A. And then we have 2E and 2G. So I will put these in a new pile for my second card project or layout project, because we haven't had those yet. And then we go to the mink cardstock. I love these kits because they provide you everything you need, like all the papers. Of course, you're going to need other supplies like the glass spray or the gel pens, but the papers are all there, and the cutting diagrams are super great. So we have a light and a dark. They want us to cut on the light side of the mink. So 4.25 by 3.25. So I'm going to go 4.25. And they always show you on each piece, this little scissor up here, that's your first cut. It's going to show you which section to cut first, which makes it a little bit easier to make sure you get your cuts correct. So 3.25. 3.25. 3.25. So these are all 2s. We got 2B, 2C, 2D. 2B, 2C, and 2D. Those are my 2s. And then the next we have a 3.25 by 8.25. So 3.25. 3.25, and then both of these are at 8.25. So this is 2F and 2H. I hope you have this kit and you're working right with me. Then we have our dark pine cardstock. And they're cutting on the dark side, so there's the dark and the light. Now both of these pieces are 5.5 by 8.5. 9, 10, 11, 8.5, 9.5, 10. So I'm going to cut off 3.5 inches. Well, so I'll just move this to 8.5 just because my math, I question it. I'm sure I'm right, but. And then I'm going to cut both of these at 5.5. So then I have my two 5.5 by 8.5 pieces, and I saved the majority of this piece. You can't see it, this piece. So it's a larger piece of leftover that I can use for a different project. So these are 3D and 3H. And these are our last page of cutting instructions. So on our candy apple cardstock, on the dark side, we're going 4.25 by 6.25, so we're 4.25 wide. The first one is always your width. I don't know if you knew that. So it's always how wide your piece is going to be. So then we have 4.25 by 6.25 and a 3.25. So this one is 1F and this one is 1C. And then we have another 4.25 by 6.25. So even if you don't have this kit yet, you can order it. I will put links to it in the description below. And then when you get it, you can come back and watch it and cut with me and create the pages with me if you'd like. Or you can I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I am so sorry. So this one is 1H and 1G. Again, I'm not doing dark writing in case I have to come back and erase those because I wrote on the wrong side. Then we have our black cardstock. Our black is not light and dark side. It's just black. And these are going to be cut 5.5 by 10. So I'm going to cut off 2 inches again. So I have that 2-inch strip versus two 2-inch strips. Does that make sense? And this is our white core. You can see it's got a white core. We do have black core cardstock. So if you're doing something and you don't want that white to show, you can just use that black core. Or if you have this and you don't want the white to show, just ink it with your black ink. So 5.5. I didn't ever think it mattered. I didn't care until I got the black core. And there's definitely projects that I want the black on. I can't write on this because it's black and my pencil won't show up, but they are 3B and 3F, so I will put those with 3. Now, I have all these scraps I'm going to put in my bag because I can absolutely use them later on other things. I don't ever throw anything away. I have a whole bag of scraps, but when this came in a kit, I keep that together because then I know everything matches. Okay. So now we start to assemble, and it's going to tell us optional spray both bases of the 12 by 12 pine patterned paper. So find our pine patterned paper. would be this. Okay, so spray both pages 12 by 12 pine pattern paper with the gloss white spray, then set aside to dry. Spray the paper from approximately 8 inches away and in an area you don't mind getting messy. Gloss sprays stain. And so, let me grab my mat. I highly, highly, highly recommend the Versamat or all-purpose mat. I get them confused. I'll put a link to it in the bottom, because everything wipes off of this. You can see how loved and well used this mat is. Everything wipes off of it. So you don't have to worry whether it's embossing powder or gloss spray. See, that's old gloss spray. It just comes right off. You don't want to get this gloss spray all over. So it looks like they sprayed in this corner and then in this corner. And we're going to look at the next page. Same thing, just kind of in spray patterns in the corner. So I'm going to just shake this up. And because I'm spraying in the corner and I don't want to get all over everything else, I'm going to slide it down more into the middle of my mat. And I'm shaking, and I think my clogger might be clogged because I didn't clean it. So I'm going to just take my Cricut tool and pick that off and make sure it's not clogged. Okay, so I've shook it. I'm going to just spray. It's broken because it is. I didn't clean it. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Spray. Mine is broken. Always clean your spray nozzle. Mine's not working. So, change of plans. We're going to tap. So, I'm going to open it and I'm just going to tap some splatters on it all over. Make your pages yours. And then I'm going to set this aside, like they said, to dry. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. And this does go everywhere, you guys. So make sure you have a mat or even one of our boxes that your orders come in. Those work fantastic for protecting your workspace. So I'm going to set this one aside and let them dry. Now this, I'm not going to worry too much about this. I do have a rag here, and I got gloss spray on this paper. See, it was clear over here and I got gloss spray on it. I think it'll be okay. We will make it be okay. This stuff really does go everywhere. So know that before you do it. Don't do it on your kitchen table unless you have something in place to keep it clean. Okay. So while those are drying, it wants us to cut out our die cut images for project 1. So I'm going to pull those out. I'm just going to flip them over, and anything for project 1, I'm just going to pop them out. You can pop them all out at one time if you want. I choose not to because I tend to lose things. So I just do them as I need them, and then that's better for me. So that's all on this one. Project 1. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1. Okay. So then it tells us optional, add details to black pine and candy cane die cuts with white gel pens, 0.08 as shown. And so we have a 0.08, a 0.05, and a 10. They don't say point, but I'm going to assume. And it also says here on the caps, 8, 5, 10. So I'm going to take the 8. Now, I haven't used these for a minute, so I'm going to just grab a piece of scratch paper. And actually what I'm going to do is on the back of one of these photo mats, I know I'm not going to use the back side. So I'm just going to color, make sure that they write. You probably can't see it, but I can. So I'm good to go. And I'm not sure exactly what embellishing they did. Add details to black pine and candy cane die cuts. Oh, die cuts. Okay. So that is in the bag, the die cut bag. So we have a stocking. And we have a poinsettia. I'm going to put the lid on this until I'm ready to use it. Looks like we have a black one here. Looks like we have a sprig in there. And a piece of holly. Now, this is what's on one of the layouts. I'm going to cut out the other one, or not cut out, but punch out the other one at the same time. So I'm going to just look ahead. We have a large and a small poinsettia on this one. We have some berries. These are hard to get with my nails. Looks like we have 2 sprigs of berries on this one. Did I miss berries on this side? I did. And then there's these hearts that we're not using on this layout, but they're falling out. So I'm going to just pop them out and set them back in the bag so that I don't lose them. Now over here we have the black. So I did put the wrong one over here. Large, small. Small. I think that's all the black. And then we have, looks like some holly. 1 and 2. And I just want to see, okay, so what I missed on this one is they have the green stocking behind. So I need to pull that out. Okay. So I think that's all we're going to use of those. So now we're going to color like they showed. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this stocking down so it goes this way. So I'm going to just put some adhesive here and a little bit here, and then I'm going to just grab, you know, I have liquid glass, so I'm just going to grab my liquid glass because that works as a great adhesive. run a little bit on each strip that will hold that down, and on the green one. And looks like that was that for that. I'll probably use this again, but they took this white and it appears they kind of colored around and made a furry lining here, not all the way to the edge, and colored that in. So the whole time we're doing this, remember our gloss spray is over there drying. You know what, I'm gonna grab the 10 because that's just a thicker pen to cover this quicker. If you didn't know, the 10, the 8, the 5, that's the tip size and how wide your writing is going to be if you wrote with this. So if you were like writing a letter, you would have more ink on a 10 versus a 5, so you would have thicker ink. So since I'm trying to cover a larger area, I'm just using the 10. And I'm going to let that dry, and I might come back over and add some more because you can see some splotches in there. I prefer the thicker one, so I'm going to close up the 8 on the stocking here. And then they ran some lines through here on each of these lines. I prefer the thicker. I'm using the 10. You might prefer thin. You can use 5, or you can use the 8 like it calls for. And then it appears they colored in the toe and the heel. So I'm just going to kind of do that. I don't even like writing with a fine tip pen, so no surprise I'm using the thicker. And now this is dried a little, so I'm going to come in and cover up those spots that I missed because it was just moving the ink around when it was still wet. Okay. Now I'm going to set that one aside. Now it looks like on the sprigs of holly, they're on the darker side. They ran lines for the holly leaves. And then little lines for the sprigs. Just going to flip the page, make sure they did that on both. It looks like they did for both pages. It's just easier to do these all at one time for me than to come back and do them as I'm assembling the page. So I'm just going to do that. You, of course, do what works best for you and your in your creative process. I like to just have everything done that's the same. So by the same, I mean using the pen, getting all that done, and so on. Okay, so the next is our poinsettia, the leaf on our poinsettia. So they went around each of the leaves here. Just adding that little bit of detail. This is optional. You absolutely do not have to do this if you do not have a white pen. Don't feel that your layout won't look good, because it will. So that's that one. I just don't know if I'm doing the right side. I don't know that it matters. I should have paid attention to how I popped these out, but live and learn. Got gloss spray all over my hands. And then they did not, doesn't appear there's any ink on that one. So those are done. This was for number one, number one, number one, number two, and number one. So we're going to go on back to the next direction. It says use prepared pine pattern paper for a base page. So I'm going to grab one of those. I'm going to move these out of the way. Attach a large plaid scalloped die cut. That is one of these. Attach 1A and 1B. So it shows that these are 1/4 of an inch down. And if I can locate my T-square, which was right here on my table. Right here it is. So if you don't have this yet, you want it, just letting you know. So it will measure everything for you. And it'll fit on our Versamat, or all-purpose mat. I get them confused. The black one, but mine is buried. So I'm just going to throw some adhesive on here. And you line it up. Well, let me grab it so that you can see what I'm saying. This mat, I think it's the Versa mat. I get them confused. So here's a trick I learned from a fellow consultant, Katie Weeks, I believe. Just put a dollop of adhesive in the center of your mat, and it will hold your paper where you want it while you're creating. Okay, so now this tells us we are 1/4 of an inch down. So can you see this, how it hooks on here? And then it allows me to keep my page straight, and it shows me where that 1/4 is. Oh, and I don't need to go all the way to the edge. See, got ahead of myself. So we're 1/4 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch off the side. So I got 1/4 of an inch here. I was actually looking here. T-square didn't help me here. It was actually kind of in my way. So then attach 1A and 1B. Oh, got to do the bottom piece first. So I'm going to slide this back up. So 1/4 of an inch, and I'm about 1/8 of an inch in. 1/4 of an inch. I could have laid my T-square on here and it would have made that straight line for me. So I could have known I laid it up or lined it up correctly. I'm not a big measurer, so that's why you see me struggle with this. I'm trying to be better about it, but I'm just not. I'm more of an eyeball it kind of person. But I want to show you all the tools that are available so that they're there if you want them. So then it says attach 1A and 1B. So we go to our pile of ones. So this was 1A. It says so right there. And I believe one of these big ones is 1B. 1G. 1F, 1H. What is 1B? Where is 1B? Oh, okay. Did I not write on this one? Okay, that's 1D. Okay, so 1B is going to be one of our zip strips, but it's shorter. But I don't recall them telling us to cut it. So I'm going to go back to here. Oh, it did say cut them at 10.5 inches. I missed that. So I'm going to grab my trimmer and cut both of these at 10.5. See, even as a consultant, we're not perfect. We make mistakes and you just roll with it and keep going. So don't think that, oh, I can't ever be a consultant because I make mistakes. Yes, you can. We all do. Okay. So we're going to add 1B and 1A. So 1B, if I'm looking at these instructions, I should move them over here so you can see. It says 1A is 3 inches down and 3/4 of an inch in. And that's going to show me where to place everything. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this. So what I say, 3 inches down. So I know that's going to be a 9. And then 3/4 of an inch in. And I am just eyeballing it. And I'm going to grab that T-square before I push this down. And I'm going to make sure that I am straight. And it appears to be pretty straight. I'm a little bit, there we go. But I want to be 3/4 of an inch in. So I was too far over. And I'm still 3 inches down. And there we go. So that's how this T-square works. It helps you just line everything up so that you're perfectly where everything goes. And then we're going to add 1B, which is our zip strip. And it just goes right along the bottom. So that's, don't need a T-square for that. And then it says attach mink scallop die cut as shown. And that would be this. And that's going to go down here. like so. So I'm going to put some adhesive on there, and then we're going to get the measurements on where it goes. It actually doesn't show me any. So I'm just going to guess a little bit here. And I'm going to stick it right there. If I need to move it, I can. But I'm not seeing a measurement for this one. And then it says to attach 1C, which is going to be one of these red ones, I believe. That's a G. This is 1C. And one C comes down 2 3/4 inches and is in 1 1/4 inches. So 2 3/4 would be 10 and right here. And then 1 1/4 in. So we're going to be right here. So I'm going to just move it over. So 10 3/4. Yep. Okay. So now that one is lined up. This is attached photo. Well, we don't have our photos for this yet, but we know that it's going to be this size. So I'm going to put this space holder here, which tells me it's going to want a 4x6 photo. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on here so I can easily remove it once I have my Christmas photos. And then it says, attach journaling die cut as shown. So that's just here. Now it overlaps a little bit, so make sure you do not get adhesive on this. Otherwise you won't be able to get your photo underneath it. So I'm going to just make sure I put some adhesive not real close to the edges so that I can then put this on here. Okay, sorry, I had to help my daughter. She got here to pick up the puppy. So now it says embellish with sticker and additional die cuts, including prepared die cuts. So that's our stocking, our poinsettia, and the leaves. So I'm going to put the stocking down. It says to use, attach a few of these embellishments with 3D foam tape for added dimension. So I'm going to put the stocking down with some foam tape. Just using our pre-cut ones that are left over from shaker cards. And I'm going to make sure that my foam tape doesn't get on here so that I can remove that and add the picture later. And then we have our bottom piece of our poinsettia. That's going to go right about there. I'm going to add the leaves, and I'm putting them towards the bottom so that the tops will be free-flowing. I'm just kind of sticking it up and under one of those leaves. And then we have the little black sprig piece, and I'm going to use some liquid glass on that. Again, just at the base where I'm going to be tacking it down. so that the tops will be still free. And we have the red piece. Oops, that goes to the other page. Same thing. And I want it on the darker side. Here's a tip for your liquid glass. Kind of tap it off, tap it down, and it will keep it from getting clogged as bad, because we know our liquid glass kind of clogs up sometimes. And then on the same for this red piece, I'm going to use liquid glass in the centers. And a little bit up on the leaves, not too far up, because I want those to still be free. Grab my tweezers. And we're just going to kind of offset that onto this piece. And then it says add journaling, but I'm not ready to add my journaling because I don't have my photos yet. But there's page number 1. And because I stuck it down. And then on the back, I'm just going to rub that off. What got on here for sticky wise. The gum eraser will work wonders for that. I just don't know where mine is at the moment. As I have told you, my desk is a real mess. So there's page 1. We're going to go to page 2. And we're using that prepared page for our base again. I still have some sticky on here, so I'm going to just pop that on there. And attach large plaid scallop pieces. And it is 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. So using my Versamat for that. Same with this one. The assembly, it doesn't take very long once you have all the pieces cut. So this is a really quick way to create some really cute pages. And we are 1/4 of an inch up on this down here. Then it says attach 1D and 1E. So that would be, this is 1D and this is 1E. So it's going to be just like before. Because this is a 2-page layout. And we know that it's 1 inch in. And 3 inches down, so that would be 9. And just line that up. I've got this set at 1 inch, and then make sure this is straight here, so then I know I'm straight on my page. Line that up here. I just love this gingham. I think that just is cozy and homey. And I actually have in my living room a table runner under my TV that is a black gingham. Well, it's more of like a buffalo plaid. It's thicker, but same concept. To me, I just love that look. And then it says attach 1F, 1G, and 1H. So we have 1F, 1G, and 1H. So we need to line those up where they go. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back of 1F. And so 1F is, doesn't tell me how far down. It tells me how far up. So 4 inches up and 1/2 inch in. So I'm going to put that at 1/2 inch. And then the bottom is at 4 inches. So I'm just eyeballing that. So that's there. Not exactly perfectly straight, so I'm going to fix it. And then 1G. Is 3.5 inches. And it's 1/8 inch between here. I'm going to just eyeball it. But I want this to be straight and 3.5 inches. So you can do it this way, like I'm doing it, or you can put it on the side and put this at 3.5 here and line up that bottom. And that'll also make it straight. So I'm eyeballing 1/8 inch. And then we have 1/8 inch between this one as 1H. And this one will be at 4, so I'm going to move this up to 4. So that one wasn't exactly at 4. I can fix it in a second. But you know, it's fine. It's only a smidgen off and no one's going to notice it. Then it says attach photos. Don't have our photos. But we know this is a 4x6 and a 3x4 and a 3x4. So there's our pretend photos to hold a place for them. It says attach the 4x6 photo with 3D foam tape. Obviously I'm not doing that because I don't have my photo yet, but when I get it, I can do that at that time. Embellish with sticker and additional die cuts, including the prepared die cuts. So that are these pieces that we have here. My nails make it hard to grab things. So this time, oh, come on, I'm going to start with our sprigs. And I know those are going to go here like so. So I'm going to get that foam or the liquid glass out. And I'm going to just like play with it. Like I know that this is going to go roughly right here. So then I'm going to eyeball where I'm going to put that. And it's going to go right around the base of that mailbox so that the stem is covered. And then this went right on top of it. Then we have our base of our poinsettia. Again, I'm not wanting to get any sticky on my photo because it won't, that's not staying there, and I want to be able to slide my photo in later. I'm just putting a little tiny bit of here of the liquid glass on each of these to hold it in place. The liquid glass is a great adhesive. And it's real fun for embellishing other things. I think I've said this before, but like if you stamped and colored a pet in their eyes, put it on their eyes, it gives them that really cool glassy look effect. So then this one is gonna go like right about here. So I have the liquid glass out, so I'll just use that. I could put adhesive on the back of this easy, but I've already got it in my tweezer. So this is gonna slide under here, like right about here. Gonna just use the liquid glass since it's what I have in my hand, and I've already got this, like I said, in my tweezers. Making sure not to get it where the photo is gonna go. Yay. And then I just wipe it off with my finger and tap it down. And then that gets all the adhesive out of this little nozzle, so it keeps it from clogging. And then they took these cute little pieces and put them on the bottom. And you see I stuck them, I put my things down first. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to fit that under. So I'm going to put it on top. Make it your own. There is no right or wrong. These are just ideas, and I just dropped it into my trash can. So I'm going to have one on the bottom and one on the top. Okay, so that is the second page of our 2-page layout. Super cute. Really loving the splatter. Okay, so now we go on to layout number 2. We do need to pop out the pieces for number 2, and this was all number 3. So over here we need, that's 3, 3, 3. 2, 2, 2, 2, and the last one. Those all say 3. Okay. So now on this layout, it says we're going, again, use the glossy spray. Optional, spray 2A with white gloss. Spray as desired, then set aside to dry. So 2A is this, our piece. So I'm going to grab my mat again, because I don't want that everywhere. We already know it gets everywhere. And I'm not spraying it because remember my sprayer is broken. I need to clean it. So I'm going to tap it. And I want to see while we're at it, is the next page the same? And it does not say anything about using this on the next page. Well, wait a minute. Maybe it did and I looked in the wrong spot. Nope. So in the center, I know we're going to have photos there, but I'm just trying to make sure I have enough around the edges. And I'm going to set this up here to dry. And wipe this off again. And it's smearing it because it was starting to dry. When I am done, I will take this to my sink and use a wet towel. And it all just wipes right off. Nothing is going to stick to this. I've even had the texture pastes on here, the different inks coloring my texture paste. It all just comes off. It dries. It's all perfectly fine. Spray the cardstock from ages away. So then it says add details to the black pine and candy apple die cuts with white gel pen. So we have those. So it looks like on this piece, they just went around in a circle. Around the edges. And then overlapping some of them. So that's that piece. And on here, so we're going to be using the black hearts, this little banner. I'm sure there's going to be more I'm missing. So there is pieces I'm not seeing. Interesting enough, like I don't see these wood grain pieces. So I don't know where those are. Oh, they're on the sticker sheet. Good gravy me. They have to be on the sticker sheet. See, I get forgetful. So yeah, here's our Winter Wonderland. Here's our that. Here's that. So, okay, sticker sheet. Calm down, Lori. Okay. So what they have done, looks like on this piece, kind of outlined this. This is the 8. Like I said, I prefer the 10. So I am going to grab that on the next ones so that we get a thicker edge. And when they did it on the green one as well. And I'm not going all the way down because I can see already this is getting tucked. So you're not going to see the whole thing anyway. See the difference between the narrow and the dark? I prefer the dark, but you do what you like. Then we're going to outline this heart. Not the dark, the thick. And then they did this black piece. And I think that is it. For this page. There might be more on the next page. I'm just not turning. I know I said I like to do it all at once, but I didn't. Okay, so now it shows we're using this piece of black gingham paper. Use exclusive gingham pattern paper for base page. Like I said, this is exclusive. You won't be able to get this in any other kit. So this piece of paper only comes in the scrapbooking workshop. And it says attach prepared 2A, which I hope is dry. It appears to be. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back. And it goes 5/8 inch in and 2 1/4 inches up. I am horrible when it comes to 5/8 and any of those other measurements, but I know this is going 2 1/4 inches up. So I'm putting that here, and I'm going to then just look at theirs and see where they kind of have it on here. And I'm just going to place it here. Probably not exact. I'm good. Then it says attach 2B, 2C, and 2D. And those are our mink. 2B, 2C, and 2D. So I'm just going to stick some adhesive on the back of all of these at the same time. And so then I see that 2B is 3/8 of an inch in this way and 1/8 of an inch in this way. That's just too much math for me. So I'm going to just take 2C, and I know these are going to all be kind of centered on here, and I'm going to just eyeball it and make sure I have enough room for the others. And they do have a thicker edge on the sides than they do along the top and the bottom. Keep in mind, I don't measure. If you want to measure, by all means do. It's just not me right now. That may change. Attach photos with 3D foam tape. Don't have the photos again, so I'm just going to put the placers on there. These are 3x4s. And then it says embellish with die cut stickers, and including prepared die cuts. Attach a few of these embellishments with 3D foam tape. Add journaling. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with is the stickers. And we have this big giant one that says the joy of Christmas is family. And I love this one. And then we have the little banners we prepared. So I'm going to stick them on before I lay it down because they're going to stick to the bottom of this. I'm centering that over that photo. Then I'm going to add these little hearts with some foam tape. I'm going to cut them. If you have the non-stick scissors, perfect for cutting things like that, because then the adhesive just doesn't stick to it and you don't have to worry about cleaning it later. Then we have the banner I could not find. So we have this banner, this red banner, and this little scalloped gingham. And we're going to add those here, kind of like this way. So we have a cute little banner up top, and then we have our embellishments at the bottom. I'm putting this on with foam tape because I don't want to lay that sticker piece down. Well, it's not even a sticker, but I don't want it sticking to where my picture is going to go. Get another one that's open up here. There we go. Because I want to be able to lift that off and add my photo to this later. Then we're going to have date, which I don't know, which, you know, am I using this year or next year? I don't know. But I'll write that on carefully later. And then we have that wood grain heart. Down here. And then we have Winter Wonderland, which is a sticker. They show it going across here, but I don't want it over that photo. So I'm going to move it down a little bit so it's going to fit right below the photo. And then I'm going to put a small piece of foam tape. It's already a sticker, but because I have this piece foam taped, I want it to stay the same height. There. So then our Winter Wonderland is up, and it's not on that photo, and I can still remove this later. So there is the first page of our second layout. I hope you like that. I think it's adorable. So this one, again, using this gingham paper. And I might need to add, nope, it's still sticky. So it says use this paper as the base, attach 2E and 2F. And that's these two right here. Oh, that's 2E and 2F. So we're going to actually put 2F on top of 2E. And then we're adding this at 2 inches down. and 3 inches in. So I'm going to put this up here at the 2. So the top goes here. And then I can see the 3, and you see this, is right here along this line. And they have it not quite going exactly up and down. So I'm going to allow this piece to kind of slide under a little bit. So there's our 2, there's our 3, and I'm tilting it just a smidge. Not a whole lot. And then it says to attach, oh, attach left photos. So that looks like 2 3x4s. And if I don't have this perfect, I can always readjust. But they have them lined up like that. And then it says to attach 2G to 2H. And then we're going to attach this one. And this one is 1.5 inches in this way and 2.5 inches down. So that puts us right about 9.5. And it is definitely not straight. And it's down further. And just overlaps here a little bit, just right along that edge. So this, it shows this corner at 2.5 and this corner at 2 3/4. So, oh, I moved it. So if I put this at 2 3/4 and this one at 2.5, it's going to be fine. Then we're going to add those photos that are also 3x4s. And then it says embellish with die cut stickers, prepared die cuts. Attach a few of these embellishments with 3D foam tape and add journaling. So we're back to, they did some of these with the pen and we know I didn't do that. So I'm going to grab my pen. I'm going to grab that 10 because that's the one I like. And just do around these. I put the cap in my mouth, so I can't really talk. So I'm going to let those dry for a second before we add those. We have this beautiful little doily piece that's going to come down here. And then on our sticker sheet, we need to add first, we have this tree, the one that I said I liked. It goes right about here. Then we have this wreath. And again, they have it over on the photo. I don't want it on the photo. because it will keep my photo from sticking, or it'll hold this down and I won't be able to get my photo on there. So I'm going to come over a little bit right under the tree. Then we have this little doily piece, and I'm going to just overlap it a little bit over the wreath. So I'm keeping it a little different than their design, but I can't really do that yet because I don't have photos there. You can take some cornstarch or even your anti-static pad for heat embossing and put it on the back of that sticker, and it'll take the sticky away. But I just don't want to do that because I don't have that photo there yet. These are now dry, so I'm going to attach those. To the tops of these. And then lastly, we have another little banner up here. We have a red gingham, another wood piece, and a green gingham. So we have the green, we have the wood, and the red. And the red's gonna cover a little bit, but not on my photo, so I'm fine. And then down at the bottom here, they have added "'Tis the Season." They have it up on the photo. I don't want it on my photo, so I'm just putting it right along the bottom. So there is our fourth page, page 4 of the 2-page second layout. So super cute. And then let's start the last page. So we're using this kind of a gray, what do they call it? Exclusive mink pattern for the base page. This is another one that is exclusive to this kit. It's the only place you can get it. Oh, splatter 3C, 3D, 3G, and 3H with white glossy spray, and then set aside. So, we need to find our pieces. Let me grab my mat. So we have 3C. Three C, 3D, can't read my writing, 3G, and 3H. We're going to hit those with that glossy spray and then set them aside. You can do as little or as much as you want. I'm kind of trying to stay in the corners because I know there's going to be stuff on top of these, and I want to get that cute splatter effect as much as I can. I'll set that one over here. So I'm just going to hit all of these with some some of them are splattering thicker than others, and I'm good with that. That's kind of like why I like this technique, is because none of them are ever the same. They're all always completely different. And it also depends on how hard you tap it. The harder you tap it, the bigger your splatters. And what's great is these don't take that long to dry. Okay. Find my towel. And I'm not worried about getting this all off. Like I've said, I just want to get the bulk off so I can wrap it up. I will wash this in my kitchen sink when I am done. Careful of your paper, statically. Okay, put my paper back down. And it says now, I got powder on here. It says we can add details to 3B, 3F, and black pine and candy apple die cuts with the white gel pen. So 3D is drying, and 3F, what is 3F? I don't know what 3F is. Help me. What is 3F? I don't even see it on here. I think that's a typo because I don't have a 3F. But we can always go back to our cutting guide and see if we see a 3F. Oh, it's a black piece. But interesting, on my cutting guide here, it says here, see, it says 3F, but over here it says 3B. So I'm wondering if 3F is on this page, and it is. So we'll just worry about that when we get to it. But we can do, so we're gonna be using these little ornaments. And a sticker there. Oh, one of these red hearts is what we're gonna have. So it looks like one of the little ones. So I'm gonna pull these out. And they put some little polka dots on it, which I think is adorable. So let's do that. That is cute. I would not have thought to do that. I'm going to move that over gently to dry. Put that up there. And then what else did they do? We'll worry about the black piece in a minute. So then it says attach 3A, which is going to be one of these. So this is 3A. So we're gonna put this down. And it is 1 inch in and 1/2 of an inch up. So I'm going to grab that T-square again. It's under my stuff that's drying. And I know I'm at 1/2 of an inch from the bottom, so I can put that there. And it goes 1 inch in. I can easily see where my 1 inch is here. And put that down. And then it says attach prepared 3B, 3C, and 3D. So we know that this one was 3C. Now I need 3B. I didn't write on these? Yep, I did. This is 3H. This is 3D. So I have 3D here, 3C here, and our 3B. And I'm not sure why they had us cut such a large, let me see. It makes no sense to me to cut that so large. So I want to look at our cutting guide. And they did. They cut 3B really large to go back behind. And it just boggles me because it's going to go so far back here like this that you're not going to see. Oh, this way. You're not going to hardly see it. So I don't know why we cut such a large piece when these are going to go on top of it like so. Unless it's, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. If it was me, I would just cut this a little bit shorter and only put a little bit of it in there. And I want to see why they did that. I don't see it anywhere on this page. So I'm going to just look at the next page. It's the same sort of thing. So I'm going to put this with my leftovers that I can use later. And I'm going to cut this in half. And I think even half is going to be too much. But I'm not even cutting it exactly in half because you're only going to see such a part of it. And if I'm wrong, I can come back and fix it because I have extra paper. But it just doesn't make sense to me. So 3B. Put some adhesive on the back of this. I'm sure they had a reason for doing it and it just doesn't make sense to me, but this is what I'm doing. So 3B is 3 inches in, but I need to know how far to come down with it. And it's just weird to me. I'm still trying to figure that out. So I'm going to move these up out of my way. And I know it's going to be 3 inches in, but I'm not sure. It doesn't show me what the distance is down here that this goes. So I'm going to just go like right around an inch. Still confused. Unless it's for, you know, the texture of the, I don't know. So we're just going to roll with what I'm doing. If you feel you want to do it their way, absolutely go right ahead. There's no wrong way. It just seems like a waste of paper to me. And I like to save paper when I can. So then this is 2 inches in and does not show me anything other than I know, though, because we didn't pop out our pieces yet, this piece is going to come across the top. Let me pull one out. So I need to get it up into there. So I'm going to come in my 2 inches and come up so I know that I'm in that. And then 3D, it appears, comes down. I think it was actually supposed to go behind, so I can easily lift that up. I'm confused. But it's going to come behind here, and it's 1 inch in, and my thing all moved. So I'm going to eyeball this at 11. There we go. And then it says attach. It never told me to attach this that I see. But it says embellish with die cuts, including prepared die cuts. And that's what this is. So we're going to put this on here. And I'm coming just a little bit down from the top. I need to move it over a little bit. And they added some stitching on that black piece, but remember I said we were going to hold off on that. So I'm going to come back in and add that now. Yeah, I'm still confused as to why they had this whole piece of the black back there. I don't know. I can't answer why. Maybe if someone from Close to My Heart's design team is on here, they can let us know. But then these go here. And I'm off centering this a little bit. It says to come in 3/4 of an inch. So I'm just eyeballing that. And then these ones come onto the pine cardstock just a smidge too. And then we're going to add these cute ornaments. I need to find my tweezers and my liquid glass. And I want to see, so the solid piece goes at the top and they colored that in. So I'm just using the liquid glass to put this down. This one a little bit lower. And they have it off the black and I didn't move it over far enough. So I'm going to put it over here. Make it yours. And then we have that cute red heart. And then we have a green heart that I didn't pull out. It looks like it is the larger one maybe. And they went around the edges of that. Okay. Now I should have done that so it had time to dry, and I didn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that one on with foam tape, like right down here. Peel that off, and then I'm just going to set it on there with my tweezers. Oh, 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 I hope I didn't just smear it. Oh, I didn't. Lucky me. And then we have our happy holidays. Might as well finish popping these out, because you know we're going to use them on the last 2 pages. Okay, so move these off. Well, some of them we're going to use here. We're going to use the happy holidays on this page. My pages never look identical to the ones that they provide, and that's good. I mean, I don't know. I like it a little bit different. Some of it is because I've screwed up. Some of it is because I just like something different. And I recommend that everybody make their pages their own. And the date. So there is our second page. Well, our third page. Third layout. First page of our third layout. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now for the last and final page. I'm sure I'm going to need these hearts. Move these because I will lose them. I'm queen of knocking things off and not finding them ever again. So same thing. We're going to attach our poinsettia piece, which is 3E. Nope. Is it? Yeah, it's 3E. So remember we were cutting, I said to make sure that you kept it the right way, because I didn't know if we were using this, and it didn't matter on this layout, but sometimes it does. And so you don't want to, you know, if this was going this way, is what I'm trying to say, and I had cut it this way on the paper, it would sure look funny with everything going sideways instead of up and down. So that was my whole point there. Ruler, 1/2 inch in. And getting this lined up. And I'm sorry, 1 inch in and 1/2 inch up, which is right there. Attach prepared 3F, 3G, and 3H. Now, remember I cut my piece, so we're going to put that down first. Because it goes in the back. And it is 3 inches in. And it looks like, so how I'm doing this is, so I know this is 3 inches in. It tells me 3 inches in. And it looks like it's almost even with that line right there, but that doesn't tell me that that's exactly 1 inch up, but it looks about an inch to me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab my T-square and I'm going to put it at 1 inch. And I'm going to come to the 3" and put it right here. And if it's not exact, it will be fine. Then it says to add these two, and we know from the last page that the brown piece should go down first. So I'm going to put that down first. And it is 1 inch in, and it doesn't tell me how far from the top. So just got to do my best. And so there's 1 inch. Get it straight. And this one, it shows it as 2 inches in. So we have that lip down here. Then we're just going to embellish. So here's our embellishments, and we did not color them. It's impossible for me to grab things. So I'm going to color them before I start putting stuff down. So the hearts, they drew hearts on, so I'm going to use the 8s on this one. So they did it on both of them. My hearts are not that great. That's okay, they're handmade. And then on these, I did the polka dots. So I'm going back to my 10 for polka dots. So the good thing about these jelly pins is they do dry fairly quick. And that looks like all that they did. So we can add this piece while our gel pen dries. Oh, and I never put the lid back on my liquid glass. That was my bad. So hopefully I didn't clog it up. We have this piece, and it slides up underneath that banner. Like this, off to the side. And then we're going to have this piece. Put some adhesive on there. Here comes my panting dog. Oh, I need to do these first. It's funny, it's doing Christmas pages, and it's fairly warm here. I'm in Nevada, Reno area, and I've got the air conditioner on. I've got my swamp cooler out there. When I went outside or out in the living room little bit ago, it was 76 degrees out there. So it's funny to be doing Christmas pages when I have the AC on. Anybody else do that? So I'm going to put this here. Put this one here. Try and do this right-handed. That's not going to work. So I'm just going to put those down. I'm going to put adhesive on all of these while I'm doing it because I'm doing it. Why not do it at the same time? So then we have this one here. We have this little one here. Then we're going to put our photos down. And they're going to go this way. And this one here. Now they show this overlapping on that photo. You know me, I don't want things overlapping, but I'm gonna a little bit because I don't have adhesive on that part of that. And put this one here, and voila, that is it. We are done. This workshop went together so quickly. Let me grab all the pages so we can see those again. There's this is the layout number 3, those 2 pages. Oh, you can't see them that way. This is the last page of layout number 2, the first page of layout number 2, and then we have layout number 1. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Look how that sleigh just lined up in there perfectly. That was awesome. And that one. So what's your favorite? I don't know. Let me look at these again. If I had to pick a favorite layout, I would probably go with this one because of the gingham and the buffalo plaid feel. I love those. And I just noticed this is sticking over a little bit. So I'm going to move it so it's not hanging off my page. I like this one the best. I hope you enjoy these. Hope you will click that subscribe button so you get notified each week when I post something new. Haven't decided yet what we're going to do next week. It will, I don't know. We'll see what it is. And so come back, check and see what it's going to be, and tell your friends. Click that subscribe. And if you really like this workshop and want to have it, there's a link below in the description where you can get yours as well. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening.